retired to rehired. First tonight, government draws fire for re-engaging hundreds of retired public servants as critics call for a younger workforce. Plus, the Bahamas makes space history as SpaceX's Falcon 9 booster touches down near the Exumas. We'll show you the countdown and the celebration at Cape Eleuthera. Also, a Wolf Road fire, now a murder investigation. The police commissioner confirms evidence points to a homicide after a man was found unresponsive in the burning building. And then in our news at 7:30, the St. Anne's MP hints at new constituencies on the horizon. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Berthany McDermott in for Candino Knowles. Nearly 500 retired public servants have been re-engaged in the public service, according to the Public Service Minister. The revelation has brought the Davis administration under fire as some taxpayers question why and emphasize the need for young Bahamians in the public sector. A question from the official opposition during question time in the House of Assembly Wednesday morning led to the revelation by Public Service Minister Pierre Glover that nearly 500 public servants have been brought back into the public service.
The answer is 491 retired public officers have returned to work, which represents 1.9% of the total number of public servants.
And according to Glover, 480 of them are getting their pension and full pay as required by law. Soon after the news broke, the Davis administration came under fire from the public, who questioned the reason for these re-engaged public servants and why young Bahamian professionals aren't engaged in the process. Glover clarified the issue in an interview with Our News, saying the public service lacks proper succession planning.
They've been brought back as consultants to assist us in this process of reforming the public service by ensuring that institutional knowledge is being poured out, ensuring that we have the proper succession plans that are being put in place. I've received succession plans, in fact, from 2 ministers already, and to eliminate this problem. And I say eliminate because we don't want this to continue. I'm hoping that as this plan rolls out, that we can go to zero.
On average, Glover says the public service loses around 800 employees annually to retirement, resignations, and deaths. As for the re-engaged civil servants, some residents feel more roles should be made available for younger Bahamians. But the Public Service Minister says with these consultants working across government agencies, an increased focus has been placed on training to ensure their knowledge is passed along.
The Department of Labor at this time has over 200 available jobs listed on our job seekers site. So where young people are looking to be engaged in employment, I encourage them to visit the Bahamas Department of Labor. Let us pair you with opportunities for employment.
And now to an historic moment for the Bahamas as the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket booster successfully landed in international waters near the Exumas. The landing was celebrated at a watch party in Cape Eleuthera where government officials, space enthusiasts, and industry experts gathered to witness the country's entry into the future of spacelift. Delvardo Emmanuel has this recap.
3, 2, 1, engine ignition. And liftoff of the Falcon 9 rocket on the Starlink 10-12 mission. The Falcon 9 has cleared the tower.
History was made yesterday at approximately 6:21 p.m. The SpaceX Falcon 9 booster, the first orbital flight of 20 scheduled for this year, left Cape Canaveral Space Station in Florida, achieved a flawless landing on an autonomous drone ship in the Exumas, marking the first rocket ever to touch down in international waters. As the booster descended, cheers erupted from spectators who watched in awe, witnessing not just a milestone of space light, but a defining moment for the future of the Bahamas. Just moments before, Prime Minister Philip Davis said this.
Some may look at this moment and see a rocket booster returning to Earth. But we see something far greater. We see a symbol of what is possible. We see a moment that tells every child in every school across this country that no dream is too big.
The landmark event also holds significant potential for tourism, a point highlighted by Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper.
This is an opportunity for us to participate in space technology. Who would have thought a small country, 400,000 people, with the might that we display, can be so engaged in aerospace technology? But we have Bahamians, as Prime Minister mentioned, like Aisha, like Denton Gibson, like Jason Murray, all around the world actively engaged.
Bahamian and former NASA rocket scientist and entrepreneur Aisha Bowe, who now sits as space relations consultant for the Ministry of Tourism, also sharing in the excitement.
There's no limit. The sky now is only the start. We have not only a launch point for communication satellites that aid with disaster response, but also a mechanism to put satellites and other things into space that make the world better. We also have a vehicle for dreams. This came with not only an international partnership, but with an investment in STEM education and pathways so that the Bahamians who watch this can be part of it in the future.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks, Delvado. An Achievers Christian Academy teacher is facing an indecent assault charge after a student accused him of improper conduct. Prosecutors allege that 33-year-old Kristen Johnson placed his hand on the 15-year-old girl's lap and whispered a provocative message in her ear. The incidents allegedly took place on separate occasions in January. Johnson, who faces a 3-year maximum sentence if convicted, denied the allegation at his arraignment before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans. He received $4,000 bail on the condition that he checks in at a police station on the last Sunday of the month. Johnson returns to court on April 28th for trial. And the family is mourning tonight after the body of their loved one was found in East Grand Bahama Tuesday evening. Police say the 36-year-old man was missing from around 2 p.m. that day. Hours later, police say they were called to a bushy area of Grand Bahama Highway shortly before 8 p.m. Northern Division Police Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Stephen Roll shared these details.
Officers immediately launched a search team along with family members, which led them to the area of the eastern Grand Bahama area, just 1 mile off the National Park. Once in this area, a vehicle was found on the side of the street, or what appears to be that of the male reported missing. And like I said, they conducted a search of the area, and they would have found a male some distance away inside the bushes, just near the truck.
Superintendent Rule said the man was found with a head injury. Police later confirming that injury was a gunshot wound. A firearm and a quantity of ammunition was also found nearby. As to what led police to that area,
the family members assisted with the search. They were to this technological stuff that brought us to this area here today to locate this missing person.
Back here in the capital, police now classifying last Thursday's structural fire on Wolf Road as a homicide. A man was found unresponsive inside the burning building around 5 p.m. that day. While attending a special luncheon at the Bahamas Red Cross, Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles confirmed that evidence led investigators to make the change. She says an autopsy will determine if it will be upgraded to a murder.
It's not classified as a murder as yet. It's classified as a homicide at this time. And so when you look at the definition of what a homicide is, killing of a human being by a human being. We continue to investigate that, and we appeal to members of the public, anyone who may have information that can assist us with that investigation. We are still awaiting the autopsy report with that particular matter. But again, we appeal to members of the public or anyone who can give us any information that can assist us with that investigation.
It's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Good evening, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Berthany, and a happy hump day, everybody. We are halfway through the week. We had some very warm temperatures for the last couple of days. Got a little bit of rainfall in the early part of the week, but we're expecting some cooler temperatures. Still warm on the outside right now, 78 degrees with a few clouds. Your winds are out of the south. 10 miles per hour, feels like temperature is at 79. Right now, it's 76s in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Marshall, Barbacoa. We pick up 77s, Alistown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbour Key, over in Governor's Harbour, 79 here in the capital. We had 78. 80 in Camps Bay, 78, Georgetown, pair of 76s, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Town, San Salvador, Deadman's Key, Long Island, 79, and into the southeast Bahamas. 79s, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Delectable Bay, string of 78s in Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Abrahams Bay, Meguana, Providenciales, Tricks and Caicos Islands. Deep south, Matthew Down in Hawaii. Right now, your temperature is a very warm 80 degrees. Satellite radar composite. We are watching a very vigorous cold front now across North Florida with some showers and thunderstorms. Very strong thunderstorms in the Gulf of Mexico. We expect this front to weaken as it approaches us. Should get in here by tomorrow morning, the northern islands actually, and through the capital by tomorrow afternoon, quickly racing into the southeast Bahamas. But we are going to continue to watch this. As I mentioned, front will fall apart but we could still see a couple of showers out of it. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, Team Bahamas prepares for their AmeriCup matchup against Cuba, and we check up on the latest in Hugh Campbell.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision is actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The third and final window of the AmeriCup qualifiers is here, and the team is ready to take the court in front of its home crowd. The Bahamas heads into the final window with a chance of clinching an AmeriCup bid. Before we can talk about the scenarios needed for the AmeriCup qualifications, the Bahamas must defeat Cuba to keep their hopes alive. Head coach John Lucas III knows despite the players being home, this window needs to be treated as a business trip.
Like I told the guys, I know everybody's back home, want to see friends and family, but this is also a business trip. This is a business trip. I want them to enjoy themselves, but just know when we come in between these doors and between these lines, it's go time. There's no playing around. It's no about thinking about what you're going to do after or what you did before.
During the All-Star break, Buddy Hield made a quick trip home and caught up with 10YS to talk about the upcoming window and its importance. Buddy took some time out to practice with some of the young players who play overseas and noticed the improvements they have made to their game.
I got to play with them today, and I just tell them how I see how good they gotten, especially Nato and Franco and Garvin and Shad and GJ down there, just playing against them, and I tell them how much they got better. So it shows that the work they put in overseas is really coming to life.
Day 2 of the Hugh Campbell tournament wrapped up, and teams are one step closer to making it out of pool play. The defending champion C.I. Gibson Rattlers defeated the Westminster Diplomats 42-34. The C.C. Sweden Cobras took down the Queens College Comets 69-36. R.M. Bailey routed C.V. Bethel 54-17, while the Kingsway Academy Saints dominated the Greenville Preparatory Academy Gators 57-20. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as an IVF meltdown leads a woman to sue her clinic after delivering another couple's baby. Plus, rapper A$AP Rocky declared not guilty in a high-profile assault trial, and TCI police detained 148 irregular migrants in a fourth vessel interception this year. The details when Our News returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me, Talia Hall, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Woman who unknowingly carried and delivered a baby boy who was not biologically hers is launching legal proceedings against an IVF clinic over the mix-up after being forced to give up custody. In May 2023, she underwent IVF treatment at Coastal Fertility and later learned the embryo she carried belonged to another couple. Born in December 2023, the baby's ethnicity didn't match Murray or her chosen donor. Despite forming a bond with him, DNA tests in January 2024 confirmed the mix-up, and the biological parents gained custody when he was 3 months old. The incident is one of several recent IVF mix-up lawsuits in the U.S. A$AP Rocky and Rihanna were swarmed by the media outside a Los Angeles criminal court on Tuesday following a jury verdict that found the rapper not guilty on 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic weapon. The charges stemmed from a 2021 altercation with hip-hop artist Terrell Efron, during which Rocky was accused of pointing a handgun at Efron and firing twice. The incidents allegedly occurred during a heated confrontation on November 6, 2021. Efron reported a minor injury after a graze on his knuckles by a bullet. However, Rocky's defense maintains that the gun was a prop from a music video that only fired blanks and argued that Efron was the aggressor. U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Tuesday that auto tariffs could be around 25%, with full details expected on April 2nd. During a press briefing, Trump said major car and chip companies have indicated plans to build new plants in the U.S. The announcement comes as his cabinet prepares reports on a range of import duties aimed at reshaping global trade.
I've been contacted by some of the biggest companies in the world. And because of what we're doing economically and through tariffs and taxes and incentives, they want to come back into the United States. And we'll be announcing various very large companies, the biggest actually, and they'll be coming back, having to do with chips and having to do also with cars and lots of other things. We're going to be announcing some very, very big, momentous decisions are being made by companies all around the world, the biggest, and they want to come back into the U.S. Car plants are being canceled in other locations now because they want to build them here. And you read about a couple, not that I want to mention names or anything, but you read about a couple of big ones in Mexico just got canceled because they're going to be building them in the United States. And that's very simply because of what we're doing with respect to taxes, tariffs, and incentives.
And the Royal Turks and Caicos Island Police Force said it detained 148 irregular migrants on Monday evening after intercepting their vessel off the island's coast Monday night. The group, which includes 109 men, 39 women, and 2 minors, was towed to South Dock Port for processing by Border Force officials before being transferred to the detention center. This is the 4th vessel intercepted this year, bringing the total number of detained irregular migrants to 296 since January. Still to come in our news, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was February 19th. And then in our news at 7:30, Michael Pintard says urban renewal is more than just about Perry Christie. The opposition leader speculates on the controversial shift as the former PM takes charge. Plus, a young woman's journey back home. Tonight, we explore life overseas through the eyes of a woman who bravely chose to return home. The story when Our News returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the lives.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
My name is Atreyu Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live.
On this day in Bahamian history in 2013, nearly 200 students, faculty, and staff of what was then College of the Bahamas gathered at Independence Park on the college campus, raising awareness about a proposed subvention cut and tuition hike over 2 years. A hiring freeze and halt to new programs were also among recommendations made public.
If you're on the student list, you need to know what's going on with the scholarship student, because I pay my school fee on time. If I don't pay my school fee, they'll drop my classes. So just how I need my money, y'all need yours, so y'all need to get your lot together.
This is just a first draft that was presented to College Council. It's under discussion. We are still in a receiving mode. We're preparing a letter for the Ministry of Finance to make suggestions on these and other recommendations, so that instead of actually reducing our services or reducing our programs, we can continue to grow and be successful. It's very challenging to move to university status and to build the excellence that we need to build with reduction in subvention. At this point, no decisions have been made. We're exploring all avenues. We don't wish to have any involuntary employment separation, so we are trying to protect our own people and to protect our students and make sure that they have the best quality courses and programs available to them.
And in 2023, another death threat against Prime Minister Philip Davis was under active investigation. Police say the threat came in a phone call to Central Police Station sometime around 8:20 Saturday morning. Officers say they later took a man into custody and seized a device as evidence. The incident followed previous threats from 2 anonymous callers back on February 3rd, ahead of the 44th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting.
Well, to watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. Well, that does it for our news at 7. Joining us now is our Megan Shepherd with the latest headlines. Megan.
Thanks so much, Berthany. Tonight, we explore life overseas through the eyes of one woman who bravely chose to return home. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight, bigger than one man. The opposition leader weighing in on the future of urban renewal as critics slam a former prime minister's appointment to lead. Plus, could we see new constituencies established ahead of the new general election? The Boundaries Commission confirmed to meet next week. And then the East Grand Bahama Member of Parliament calling for collaboration, not just for the economic benefit of Grand Bahama, but the Bahamas at large. And later, are Bahamians being prioritized? The president and GM of the Royal Beach Club dismissing a viral video portraying the contrary. We've got his explanation on the optics. Our news live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Diet friendly special.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Mora's Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Mora's The Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Welcome to our news and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Tonight, opposition leader Michael Pintard says in their eyes, fixing the Urban Renewal Authority is bigger than just Perry Christie. His opinions come after the announcement that the former Prime Minister would lead the program as it transitions from commission to authority, a decision many residents have opposed. Before entering Parliament this morning, Pintard is speculating on the possible reason behind the move, while also sharing what the program would look like under a free national movement government. Our Joshua Williams breaks it down.
The decision to let former Prime Minister Perry Christie lead and guide, in the words of Prime Minister Philip Davis, the Urban Renewal Authority, sparking backlash from the public, many disagreeing with the appointment. Christie, who's been out of the public service since losing the 2017 general elections, has for the most part been supporting the Progressive Liberal Party from behind the scenes. On Tuesday, Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Lutre Raming, clarified that Christie's appointment is unpaid. Opposition leader Michael Pintard says it may be a political move as election season draws closer.
Prime Minister Davis had pretty much sidelined Prime Minister Christie over the last several years from speaking at different organs within the Progressive Liberal Party, save and except probably for memorials. And I believe he now sees the handwriting on the wall in terms of the challenges that the PLP is facing, and looking for opportunities to bring the Christie wing of the party back, to give him support.
Urban Renewal, considered to be Christie's brainchild, was started back in 2002, known then as the Farm Road Project, that then grew to be Urban Renewal 2.0 in 2012. The Prime Minister says because of this and Christie's knowledge of the program, he was chosen to lead. But Pintard says for the opposition, it goes beyond that.
But right now, what we need is a complete restructuring of urban renewal. So the decisions they make now are secondary to what we will do in the next few months when we take government. And we intend to structure urban renewal in a manner that it can have an impact on not only the environment in our inner cities and on over the hill, but also on the residents who live there.
Now, government officials have said that the move from commission to authority is to prevent any political infiltration. But Pintard disagrees.
Laughable, absolute nonsense. This government continues to interfere into every authority and commission that has been established. And we'll talk a bit about that this morning. If you do not have gatekeepers, you do not have policymakers who are going to be honest brokers and allow talented Bahamians to do their job, we'll continue to have problems.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Joshua. Well, could we see restructuring elsewhere in the country anytime soon? While the Prime Minister knows the date of the next general election, it must be held before the end of next year. That decision, however, lies with the Boundaries Commission. The Commission conducts a review of the electoral boundaries every 5 years and makes recommendations to ensure equal numbers throughout each constituency. St. Anne's Member of Parliament Adrian White telling reporters outside of the House today that there may be some new constituencies on the horizon. White sharing that the Commission has only met once and that there is a list circulating, but he did question its validity.
There hasn't been any decision on any boundary cuts yet. The Boundary Commission meetings were pushed back on more than 2 occasions. Those lists, I don't know about the individuals mentioned on them, how reliable it is, but I think from the list that circulated recently of the PLP candidates, they talked about a 8 Mile Rock seat. They talked about a Bimini seat, Bimini and Berry Island seat. So there seems to be not only candidate names, but there seems to be new constituency names.
Committee members include Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville, Deputy Free National Movement leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and Justice Gregory Hilton. While Cooper did not have a direct response to the St. Anne's MP, he did have this to say.
We're meeting next week Wednesday.
the work will begin in earnest.
And over in the north, the recent Grand Bahama Business Outlook bringing together a number of stakeholders to chart the economic future of that northern island. While addressing attendees, Executive Director of the GBPA, Rupert Hayward, admitting that the decline of the city of Freeport is attributed to a collective effort, adding that there are constraints that exist, but they can be removed by working closely with the government. Now, the Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, is weighing in. He says government is going about achieving success for the island the wrong way.
They are seeking to have a conflict with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. While what we do need is for both parties to work together to ensure the best economy that we can. There are some issues with ease of doing business. The government must be focused on making it easier for folks to do business, not just in Grand Bahama, but in the entire Bahamas.
Thompson adding that government must also be focused on providing all the necessary small business assistance that is required for the entire country. And when it comes to the GBPA, Thompson also believes that structural changes are necessary.
What we need also is for transparency with respect to what is going on with the hotel, what is going on with the airport. We saw statements that were being made in reference to the hotel, statements being made in reference to the airport, but to date we still do not know what is happening in reference to the hotel. We do not know what is happening in reference to the airport. We also believe that there has to be structural changes made to the Grand Bahama Port Authority. There has to be structural issues to address in terms of the ownership of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. We also want to be licensees to be more involved in the governance of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. So these are structural issues that need to be changed and structural issues that under Michael C. Pintard we will be able to do.
All right, well, a 70-year-old Caucasian female is dead, and police in Bimini are investigating the circumstances surrounding the drowning incident. According to police, shortly after 11 a.m. on Wednesday, the victim was swimming in the area of Paradise Beach, North Bimini, when a family member who was ashore noticed she became motionless. She was assisted to shore where CPR was administered. However, all efforts proved fruitless. She was later pronounced dead by a medical doctor. And a man who was shot multiple times as he left court last year has been denied bail by a judge. In June 2024, Raphael Nemor was ambushed while headed to his car after his gun possession case was adjourned. While recovering from the shooting, police arrested Nemor in October 2024 when they allegedly caught him with another gun. He was remanded to prison on the second gun charge. Justice Neil Brathwaite ruled that Nemor was likely to reoffend if granted bail and that his release posed a threat to public safety. Meantime, Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles confirming DNA results in the Adriel Moxie and Vernantia Butler cases are still pending. Both victims were strangled and sexually assaulted. Investigators sent DNA samples abroad, but initial testing in Moxie's case was thrown out after the original suspect was ruled out, following an alleged confession from the sole suspect in custody. 72-year-old Butler was found unresponsive in her Ross Connor home on November 23rd. A 25-year-old man was later arrested and charged.
We did, in fact, send out DNA samples or samples for DNA testing in a number of cases. We're still waiting on those reports to return to us. Once they do so, we will be, of course, we will share that with members of the public.
And National Security Minister Wayne Munroe revealing details into the shareholders for Metro Security Solutions, a company contracted for ankle monitoring. Munroe was responding to questions placed by former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis on February 14th, 2024. Munroe telling parliamentarians the contract was approved by the cabinet led by Dr. Minnis on Tuesday, September 7th, and signed on September 7th, 6 days ahead of the 2021 general election.
The registered office of the company was located at the chambers of Attorney Tony Scrivens. The disclosed shareholders of the company, as shown on the returns filed with the Registrar General's Department, are as follows. Leon Bethel Sr., 60 shares. Ronald Campbell, Clement Lightburn, Kirkwood Andrews, Leon Bethel Jr., 10 shares each.
Monroe added there is nothing to indicate that the disclosed shareholders are not the beneficial owners of the company. It is unclear if the Kirkwood Andrews mentioned is the current Deputy Commissioner of Police. The Davis administration severed ties with Metro Solution in March 2024, and a new company, Magrafil Security Group, has been selected to handle the ankle monitors. However, St. Anne's MP Adrian White said the questions were directed to the current company, asking if the information will be made available.
Speaker, that was an oral and not a written question for me to come with a prepared answer. If they wish to ask some other questions that could get a written answer, that would be fine.
All right, we still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson has your midweek weather check. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. We are halfway through the week. Warm temperatures early part of the week. We are still warm on the outside, 78 degrees. Few clouds. Winds out of the south. It's bringing in that very warm tropical air mass at 10 miles per hour. Field side temperature is at 79. Satellite radar composite. High pressure crosses now retreating towards the east. That's going to be moving out. And we are anticipating a very vigorous cold front now across North Florida. It's actually going to be falling apart by the time it gets to our area. Should get into the northwest Bahamas by tomorrow morning and should move through the capital by tomorrow afternoon, quickly getting into the southeast Bahamas. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, sticking to the agreement. President of the Royal Beach Club says they've always been committed to providing jobs for Bahamians. This as the top executive dismisses a video of foreign workers on the future site. We'll tell you all about it when our news returns.
KFC Value Box.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
INTI Corporation is on the move. Day by day, panel by panel, our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. INTI is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as INTI Corporation shines brighter than ever. INTI Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
President and General Manager of the Royal Beach Club, Philip Simon, is dismissing a video obtained by Our News showing foreign nationals working at the site of the future Royal Beach Club owned by Royal Caribbean International. In this video, workers are observed carrying out construction duties on site, a number of them not speaking English. That video has since gone viral, and some are questioning if Bahamians are the majority on the construction site. Well, Simon says that they've always been committed to providing jobs for Bahamians, adding that they've stuck to the agreement that was signed with government, which gives 49% to government and 51% to Royal Caribbean.
With regards to accusations that there are non-Bahamians working on site, again, we maintain that we have hired Bahamian contractors who are doing the work. They are well-known, well-established, efficient and effective contractors. We're very confident in the work that they're doing, and we don't interfere into their internal way of doing business or practices. So.
Ahead of House proceedings this morning, Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, told reporters that while he had not seen the video, he assures residents that if those contractors are not compliant with the guidelines agreed to, they would be held accountable.
The Department of Immigration, the Department of Labor, has a responsibility to ensure compliance with any approvals given by the government of the Bahamas. And I anticipate that if there are any infractions of labor or immigration laws, that they will be handled promptly. I've indicated before that all of these heads of agreements are skewed heavily towards Bahamian labor. There are standard protocols, and this particular development has a requirement, not just for Bahamian labor, but for Bahamian entrepreneurs.
And now this update from the Ministry for Grand Bahama regarding the temporary closure of the Harold de Gregory building on East Mall Drive. According to a statement, the building will be closed beginning tomorrow, Thursday, February 20th, to Sunday, February 23rd, to facilitate scheduled maintenance and air quality improvements. According to the ministry, this proactive measure is part of their commitment to maintaining a safe and healthy environment for all employees and visitors. The closure will impact a number of offices, including the Department of Housing, Consumer Affairs, the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation, the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas Northern Service, and the Ministry for Grand Bahama. The Harold de Gregory building will reopen on Monday, February 24th for normal operations.
Coming up in sports, we're only one day away from hosting Cuba in the AmeriCup. We also check in with His Excellency to see how he feels this team will perform.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is...
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Wendy's and
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring...
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The third and final window of the AmeriCup qualifiers is here, and the team is ready to take the court in front of its home crowd. The Bahamas heads into the final window with a chance of clinching an AmeriCup bid. Before we can talk about the scenarios needed for the AmeriCup qualifications, the Bahamas must defeat Cuba to keep their hopes alive. Head coach John Lucas III knows despite the players being home, this window needs to be treated as a business trip.
Like I told the guys, I know everybody's back home, want to see friends and family, but this is also a business trip.
this is a business trip. I want them to enjoy themselves, but just know when we come in between these doors and between these lines, it's go time. There's no playing around. It's no about thinking about what you're going to do after or what you did before. It's all about the game and getting ready for the game plan, which is Thursday. Right now, we're looking at Cuba only, and then we'll get the Team USA after we take care of Cuba.
National team guard Dominic Bridgewater, who is currently playing in France, knows how special it is to have an opportunity to play in front of the home crowd.
Our trip to come home is always a blessing, so this one year is even more special because it means a lot more than the last couple set, but it's very excited to be home. The chemistry is really important, especially with the training camp we have going on now. It's going to be extra important for us, so with this team we got together, it's going to be really helpful.
The Bahamas takes on Cuba Thursday at 8:40 p.m. at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. During the All-Star break, Buddy Hield made a quick trip home and caught up with 10YS to talk about the upcoming window and its importance. Buddy took some time out to practice with some of the young players who play overseas and noticed the improvements they have made to their game.
I got to play with them today, and I just don't know how I see how good they gotten, especially Nato and Franco and Garvin and Shad and GJ down there. You know, just playing against them, and I tell them how much they got better. So it shows that the work they put in overseas is really coming to life. And I just in this session they should stick together, have fun, play together, and hopefully they can use the home crowd for advantage.
And with the upcoming game against Cuba on Thursday, Buddy knows how important it is to have the home court advantage.
These players here need you guys so much, especially for like the energy and support, and we feed off the energy. I know I was here, we didn't won. The energy was so great, and it was a joy and average. It was a joy to be around it, and especially with all the junk canoe and everything in the background. So I'm just excited for them to have the opportunity again, and hopefully we can get 2 wins out there.
Day 2 of the Hugh Campbell tournament wrapped up, and teams are one step closer to making it out of pool play. The defending champions C.I. Gibson Rattlers defeated the Westminster Diplomats 42-34. The C.C. Sweden Cobras took down the Queens College Comets 69-36. R.M. Bailey routed C.V. Bethel 54-17. While the Kingsway Academy Saints dominated the Greenville Preparatory Academy Gators 57-20. That will do it for our sports. This is 10YS. In order to see these NBA guys play in the summer, we got to make sure we support these guys who are playing against Cuba. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, making the tough decisions. A young Bahamian shares her experience living abroad and what ultimately led to her return home. Plus, meteorologist Greg Thompson steps back into the weather center. He's got a look at your extended weather forecast. Those details coming up when our news returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people.
This is our news. Welcome back. We are watching a very vigorous cold front across North Florida with quite a bit of showers and thunderstorms associated with it. Should get into the northwest Bahamas by tomorrow morning, Grand Bahama, the Abacos, as well as Bimini, and moving through the capital by tomorrow afternoon. We expect this front to continue to race towards the southeast. Should push into the central and southeast Bahamas by tomorrow night. This system has quite a bit of activity with it, most of the activity staying well to the northwest. Once that goes through, we expect a very nice change in the atmosphere. High pressure will build in. We're looking for some very nice and cool temperatures for the balance of the week. Future forecast showing the frontal boundary now across north central Florida should be pushing towards the southeast, getting into the northwest Bahamas, as I mentioned, by tomorrow morning, but tomorrow afternoon, passing through the capital, and then into the central and southeast Bahamas by tomorrow night. Boating forecast, northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will start off out of the south to southwest, but quickly shifting northwest behind that front, 10 to 15 knots, but they will be increasing in speed. Seas 2 to 4 feet. They will be building behind the front. High tide is at 12:44 in the morning. Your low tide takes place at 7:11 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, rip current risk still exists for you guys down there. Southeast to south winds, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, slightly higher along Atlantic exposures. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, that front will not bring much in terms of any significant rainfall. We do expect some clouds, but winds will be increasing. Temperatures will be near the mid-80s tomorrow, but look at those temperatures by the end of the week. 73 on Friday, 72 on Saturday, and then we start to climb back up by the beginning of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much, Greg. Well, have you ever given thought to moving abroad? The perspective of the experience varies depending on who you ask. Tonight, our Danielle Miller talks one-on-one with a young woman who took the leap of faith to move abroad, but made the tough decision to come back home. Here's her story.
If you've ever moved to Canada, then you know there's always some period where you're already living there, just sitting back, waiting on papers.
That was the experience shared by Bahamian resident Janishka Clark, who was living in Canada while waiting for her permit to be renewed. But during that time, she says, she felt stuck.
I couldn't go to work anymore, so I had to leave my job. I couldn't go to school legally, and essentially I was solo there. Didn't have much friends.
With no one to lean on, she decided to pack up her apartment and return home. Although some might view her decision as drastic, she explains that her mental health was her priority and she couldn't afford to worry about public opinion.
I've been living in Canada before in that exact same scenario where, okay, my permit is up, I'm waiting for the approval of my next permit, but I can't go to school and I can't work. So at that point, I got depressed. So I already knew the cycle, I already knew what was coming next. So I got my ticket to come home.
Though it was a vulnerable time, Janishka says she feels it was important to share her story, as many people have an idealized image of living abroad. Living abroad might offer a higher income, but she says there are hidden challenges that can push you to your breaking point.
I know that I wasn't the only one going through it, and I'm not going to be the only one going through it.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle, and thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.